What if I told you your freedom isn't really yours? Right now, forces you can even see are shaping your thoughts, your choices, your entire life. These forces are invisible, subtle, silent, but powerful. They are chains. But once you see them, you can break them. These are the 5 invisible chains. Let's talk about the first one, the power of the situation. Ever walk into a room and felt like a different person? Like something unseen was shaping you? That is exactly what happened in the Stanford prison experiment. Ordinary students were put into a fake prison, some as guards and some as prisoners. Within days, the guards became cruel. The prisoners became broken. No one told them to change, but they did, because the situation had power over them.
It rocked the world of psychology. A group of students were divided randomly into prisoners and guards and forced to live in a makeshift jail. The prisoners immediately became submissive, and the guards became cruel.
We analyzed the behavior of each of the groups, each of the individuals, and by the end of a week, they were totally different creatures.
Dave Escherman was 17 at the time of the experiment. He was to become the ringleader of the guards, showing the cruelest and most sadistic behavior.
How often do we let our environment shape us? The second change for humans is conformity, the silent controller. Ever agree with something you knew was wrong just to fit in? That's exactly what Solomon Asch experiment revealed. He asked people a simple question about line lengths. But when fake participants gave the wrong answer, real participants often agreed just to go along with the crowd. I remember my first job. My boss made a terrible suggestion. My heart was pounding. Say something, I thought, but no one else did. So I stayed quiet, I stayed silent. Not because I really agree with the idea, but because conformity made me afraid to stand out.
The Asch experiment is one of psychology's oldest and most popular pieces of research. A volunteer is told that he's taking part in a visual perception test. What he doesn't know is that the other participants are actors, and he's the only person taking part in the real test, which is actually about group conformity.
Please begin. The experiment you will be taking part in today involves the perception of line length. Your task will be simply to look at the line here on the left and indicate which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. So, for example, if you think...
The actors have been told to match the wrong lines. The volunteer will be monitored to see if he gives the correct answer or if he goes along with the opinion of the group and gives the wrong answer. In the first test, the correct answer is 2.
1. 1. 1. It's 2.
1. Once again, the correct answer is 2.
3. 3. 3.
3.
3.
The Asch experiment has been repeated many times, and the results have been supported again and again.
How many times have you stayed quiet when you knew you shouldn't? The third chain is the bystander effect. You think you'd help someone in danger, but what if no one else does? That's the bystander effect. The more people around, the less likely anyone is to help.
Whereas when there's a single person in an emergency, the probability they will help goes up. And why is that so? Well, what Darley and Latney, the researchers, formulated was that when you're in a group, sometimes even with strangers, and you look around and no one is helping, the social norm is do nothing. Don't get involved. Mind your own business. So the key then is how do you change the social norm? The way you change it is the power of one. Namely, the moment someone goes to help, within seconds, others join in. Because when you take action, you have a ripple effect. That is, people look around and say the new norm is help, do something. So now that you know about the Bystander Effect, it's not a check mark on a multiple choice test. Darley Latney, Bystander Effect, diffusion responsibility, da, da, da. No, it means that whenever I'm in a situation, I now say, Bystander effect is in action. What do? Here's what I do. Here's how I get other people involved.
Freedom means choosing to act even when no one else is doing it. Would you be the one to move first? The fourth chain is in-group favoritism, the invisible divide. Why do we trust our kind more than them? Humans naturally divide into groups like sports teams, nations, and little groups, and we typically favor our own without realizing this. But this invisible divide can be dangerous.
In many places in the United States, how are black people treated? How are Indians treated? How are people who are of a different color than we are treated?
They're part of this world. They don't get anything in this world.
Why is that?
Because they're different color.
You think you know how that would feel to be judged by the color of your skin?
Yeah.
Do you think you do? No, I don't think you'd know how that felt unless you had been through it, would you? It might be interesting to judge people today by the color of their eyes. Would you like to try this?
Yeah.
Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Since I'm the teacher and I have blue eyes, I think maybe the blue-eyed people should be on top the first day.
And up here?
I mean, the blue-eyed people are the better people in this room. Oh, yes, they are. Blue-eyed people are smarter than brown-eyed people.
My dad isn't that stupid.
Is your dad brown-eyed? What happened at recess? Were two of you boys fighting?
Yeah. Russell and John were.
What happened, John?
Russell called me names and I hit him in the gut.
What did he call you?
Brown eyes.
The challenge? We need to break these imaginary walls and see people for who they really are, not just their team, their identification. Now, the fifth chain for humans is this blind obedience to authority. Imagine a man in a white coat told you to shock a stranger, another person. Would you do it?
Volunteers were told they were taking part in scientific research to improve memory.
Would you open those and tell me which of you is which, please? Teacher. Learn.
Separated by a screen, the teacher would ask the learner questions in a word game and administer an electric shock when the answer was incorrect. He was told to increase the voltage with each wrong answer.
Cloud. Horse. Rock. House. Answer. Wrong. 150 volts. Answer. Horse.
Experiment. That's all. Get me out of here. Get me out of here, please.
Continue, please. Go right on.
I refuse to go on. Let me out.
Refuses to go on. The experiment requires you continue, teacher. Please continue.
Participants didn't know that the learner was really an actor and the so-called shocks harmless.
You're gonna get a shock. 180 volts.
Ow! I can't stand the pain. Let me out of here.
Stand it. I'm not gonna kill that man, there. I mean, who's gonna take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman? I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue, please. All right, next one. Slow. Walk, dance, truck, music.
Two-thirds of volunteers were prepared to administer a potentially fatal electric shock when encouraged to do so by what they perceived as a legitimate authority figure. In this case, a man in a white coat.
375 volts.
Most people did it, most people obeyed, okay? Even though they knew they were causing pain to another human. And why is this? Because we have this tendency to follow orders, to accept the authority the person in that moment is telling us to do. I remember at work once I followed a rule that made no sense to me. I knew it was wrong, but my boss expected this from me, so I obeyed. And that's the scary part. We think we're free, but sometimes we're just following orders. Are you making your own choices? These invisible chains, the power of situations, conformity, the bystander effect, in-group favoritism, and blind obedience to authority shape us more than we know. But now, you know what they are about. And once you see this change, you can also break from them. True freedom starts with awareness. Which of these invisible forces have you felt in your life? Drop a comment. I want to hear your story. And if you're ready to break free, hit subscribe for more insights into human behavior and how we can change the paradigm. A paradigm that will bring more abundance and more freedom for humans, the cooperation paradigm. Thank you so much.